what I'm putting forth, if it turns out that it's wrong, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, there is another form of energy. It's the one I've been talking about, the electrical energy that comes from the water. You see, and there may be a lot of energy that that comes that way, because it doesn't come exactly from the water. It comes through the water by virtue of the energy that we're receiving all the time from the environment. And of course, the champion of all that are plants, which get that energy perpetually, but we get it too. And so it might be, again, I use the term might because we don't know. It could be that our energy comes principally or even entirely from electrical energy. In other words, it could be that much, most, or even all is a possibility of our energy is electrical, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing that no one's really chased that rabbit, because that could change a lot of things.
It could absolutely. You know, the biochemistry that's associated right now with the production of ATP is very complicated. If you read the biochemistry book and go through all that, you really have to scratch your head and try to understand all the steps that are involved. And well, one likes to think that nature is simple. Nature works simply, but who knows?
I don't think it's as simple as anybody wants to make it out to be.
Indeed, it may not be. Well, we're certainly intricate because we have so many different components inside our body. There's no doubt it's intricate, but the question is about the fundamental principles of how we operate. And I guess I find myself convinced that those principles, essential principles, are going to turn out to be simple, not complicated.
It's so complicated it becomes simple.
I'm sorry, once more?
I said it's so complicated. Oh, I'll bring my mic over. It's so complicated it becomes simple.
Oh, well, that's one way of looking at it. Yeah, you could say that. The principle is, is really far-reaching. This guy, Sir William of Ockham, he was talking about the existence of God. He was a theologian, philosophical theologian, and he said, "Hey, there are two ideas here, competing ideas. God exists, God doesn't exist." He said, "The way to find out the truth is put up a hypothesis that God exists, and another hypothesis God doesn't exist. And whichever is the simpler one is probably the one that's going to be right." And then his ideas remained dormant for a few centuries. And then Isaac Newton said, "Hey, this guy knew what he was talking about. Let's apply the same to science." He said, we have two competing hypotheses to explain a certain phenomenon. And the simpler one is the one that's probably going to be right. And that principle was taken up by scientists for hundreds of years. And it was actually used, I think, usefully for many centuries until about 100 years ago with the advent of quantum mechanics and such, where we're now kind of led to believe that in order to understand nature, we need abstract mathematics. It may be right, but some question is raised about whether Mother Nature really requires abstract mathematics to produce life or produce nature, and I'm not so sure.
Interesting stuff for sure.